Let me ask you this. So a minute ago on that other tweet, he says like the correct price for anything with an inflation bug is 0. How come PDI is not 0 and actually has like a fantastic chart from the beginning? I know Crypto 7, you keep quoting what it's done like in the last 2 weeks or whatever, but I mean, it's vastly up on all core tokens and every meme token that you've mentioned.
Well, from the beginning, from the beginning,
Oh, yeah.
yes, I don't think they started exploiting until 2 months ago, and nobody paid attention to it. So, or maybe nobody knew about it. I don't know that a lot of people knew it was happening, because they weren't studying wallets. They just saw all this activity. You know, not until someone said, "Hey, this is one guy that's 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 extracting value, bridging out of the chain." So that's another concern of mine, that if this was somebody that really was doing something behind the scenes, maybe that we weren't supposed to know about, I, I don't know that value would be getting completely extracted over to Ethereum and gone. You know, I think it would at least stay on the chain that we're trying to promote here and support. You know, with money in the bridge, it still helps the value of everything. So anyway, that's just that. But all right, what do we have here?
Whatever you want to pick. I think we're getting kind of towards recent stuff here. So
yeah, this is all like 20, 21 hours ago. So this is all within the last day.
why don't you find, unless there's something else that catches your eye, find the one where it's the exclamation points and all that stuff. Wait, was that it? There, it's that, I think. It's that, I think. Congratulations to the multiple exploiters minting PDI out of thin air today and selling it on PulseChain. One exploiter is even messaging you on chain. This is this is funny. Today, explaining how he's doing it. One of the new accounts minted 180K worth today, and the one that sent this message only minted like 12K. How many more exploiters will figure out the free money hack? It's just like this is what I mean. Like, what's the purpose of saying it that way? It's just, it looks like an advertisement, like calling back to that tweet that we had earlier. You know, it's like he's live keeping up with it and then breaking down all the weird stuff within it. Like I forget what the person said. I read it earlier today. It was weird, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he basically said, it's funny when people say I have unlimited mint rights on DAI. Funny. So let me explain how I work. Exactly telling you what this is, kind of what we talked about earlier, is how they take advantage of the Oracle and get loans. So this tells all that story here. So no sense in reading it again.
I mean, I don't know, like this, the other one, I agree, objectively sounded like he was literally like warning people and being direct and all that. This one sounds like the ethos of that Solana tweet that he made. This sounds like, hey, check this out. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't know why he's wording it that way. That's all.
And maybe two birds, one stone kind of thing. So
Maybe.
this is more to that. Like that whole post goes on in several.
Wait, let's actually read this. So why can't they just send it? Why can't they just send it to 0 instantly like most inflation bugs? Well, the bug requires you to know how to use DeFi contracts that don't have front ends. Few people do, and it might require you to get an entire block of gas all to yourself to run all the transactions you need. Who's the real final boss? Well, if you look at the liquidity, it looks like someone can mint a Tropa out of thin air. That's actually the first time I've ever seen him reference that. I don't know if you remember him referencing a Tropa ever before, but
no, not by name.
But he says, I know nothing about it. They can harvest 2 billion PDI out of the liquidity in the PulseX pair. LOL, the coin only had 6 billion total supply at the fork. Oh, well. If any of the maker guys want to come over and edit the contracts, they could infinite mint as well. Why can't it be fixed? Because the emergency shutdown function doesn't even do what people think it does. And there's not enough P maker for sale on the chain to even try and hit the apparently 150K P maker to trigger it. And even if you did trigger it, it doesn't do what you think it does. Read the docs if you wish, which he posted earlier. Why do I break the links? Because X doesn't allow you to. TLDR, 6 billion supply of pedi at fork. Now it has 24. You didn't get that inflation. Exploiters did. Why do you think they'll stop exploiting? Why would you buy this trash? There's better trash. Why play Russian roulette versus all the hackers and P-maker holders? Influencers just make your own coin called pedi if you want to shill that, which, I mean, people are pretty much done. Well, he thinks this is all very funny, evidently. So there's that. I don't know. What do you make of this? Because, I mean, it can read like this is like a massive problem to the chain, but there's also jokes and stuff mixed in, kind of. So I don't know.
Well, I think he's laughing because people aren't getting what he's trying to tell them. I mean, people continue to buy it and more of it. So I
So
think
the person can't be stopped, basically. It sounds like what he's saying.
It sounds like what he's saying is, yeah, if we keep feeding that person, they can't be stopped. Only the people that have the P maker can really do anything about it. And as far as I understand, only the people that have previous vaults on the Ethereum chain are the ones able to run the exploit. So there's a few of them. I know there were chat rooms of engineers and devs trying to figure it out, but I think the piece of the puzzle that they were missing is that they didn't have an existing vault with the keys to, you know what I mean? So they didn't have a vault on Ethereum side to play around with trying to do this on PulseChain side. So
yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just reading. We've had like a ton of comments. I just noticed. I was trying to go through. So if you want to see if there's any other part you want to read, I want to see if I can pop up a couple comments here over the next 20 minutes to wrap us up.
I don't think there really is a whole lot.
Yeah, I think
left.
that was the last.
We're pretty much. I mean,
let's see here.
Other than someone should make an extractor meme, and that's his. Maybe, I don't know. Did he create that meme?
Yeah, I saw. He shared it anyway. So what do you make of this? I know you're gonna hate this, but here's Grandpa Pulse, old Grandpa Pulse. There are question marks. So the question mark post that you and I were referencing, and 15 minutes later on chain, they're answered with a purchase of 3,000 Nope tokens. I saw that too for on chain sleuths that. Right after that tweet, a bunch of Nope tokens were bought, and then I forget what was done. I don't know if they were sold for pedi or what exactly happened. But
let's take a little look-see here at the wallet that we know of anyway that was doing the majority, and see if there's anything new. I don't think that the Nope had anything to do with it. I mean, I've seen all kind of there's hex transactions. There's what's this one? Some sort of, I don't even know what the hell that icon is. It's a little heart.
Probably saw me.
There's Psycho token. Oh, these scam people are sending. So I mean, there's also people sending this address. It looks like people are trying to send Psycho, and it may be a bad coin with a vulnerability. There's Math token, there's Cent token, there's Die LP, there's C3. Like there's a ton of transactions when you go. There's Pdong, which is funny.
That's the Vietnam guy.
Yeah. But again, when you see 91 million DAI forked out, and then you see some swaps later on, it really, here's 500,000. It's only $14. But yeah, I mean, there's just tons of constant transactions going through this. Here's one for 5 million. 138 got taken out. There's not too much in the last day or so. There's another 500,000 for, here's the Nope. Bought more Nope. Here's $1,500 worth of DAI. Got swapped somehow. Oh, that's why all that. 1 million DAI for $2,000, $1 million DAI for 2,000, $1 million DAI
Yeah,
for
I saw
2,000.
those.
So those were on the 24th, which was 2 days ago. There was, 6-8 grand taken right there. Yeah, I don't think the note had anything to do with it. I mean, there's there's buying most as well. I think it's just to throw people off. Now, there were a bunch of failed transactions as well.
Right.
I don't know what was happening there, whether they couldn't get the entire block. And I have a feeling that's what was going on, because it was mentioned before that you pretty much need the entire block to do all the transactions that need to happen. And I think that's why these were all failing, because it was mint efficient. They're all the same function. And
Right.
if you can't grab an entire block, it doesn't work. So I just have a feeling that's what was happening.
Well, there's a
Either
lot
way.
of on-chain research going on that what I don't like about it is a lot of people make assumptions, and the thing I'm not smart enough with it to refute any of them necessarily, but I think that people make assumptions on stuff without 100% knowing what they're talking about. And one thing to kind of put a bow, I guess, on all this is that I was thinking about this earlier today, whether it's people that are like supporting pedi or believe there's more than meets the eye, or the people that are vehemently against it and pissed at the people talking about it and stuff like that. One thing that everybody has in common is they're probably down bad on their bags right now. And I think everybody is basically just coming from a point of scarcity in this market right now, because we have all mostly been down for the majority of it. And it's not, any one person's fault or anything like that. It's just what the market is. It is the model, I think, of how a lot of people got into Pulse. Obviously, you do a sacrifice at the top of the last market, and there's just too many people in, and then you get underwater like this for a while. And then, as we've talked about, like the biggest topic on the show that we've spent the least amount of time on is the fact that Ethereum's $2,000. That will help. And yeah, Valiant low key. I mean, yeah, I think we can agree with this. Regardless of how we got here, pedi and PulseChain have massive mind share now. RH must use this opportunity wisely for the good of all, or he risks living forever in infamy. Just IMO. I mean, yeah, you make a good point. I mean, like a lot of the mainstream channel. I mean, there are mainstream channels that like will never talk about it. Like it does not matter what PulseChain does, what Hex does, what Richard does. Nothing. They will call it a scam rug to the bitter end. It really doesn't matter. That's just what they're going to do, because Richard doesn't like play the game, and we don't play the game of, paying people off and stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, you got like Ivan on Tech talking about it and stuff. I mean, like it is something that there's very little going on in crypto right now. Like it seems very quiet out there outside of this craziness in our little silo. And I do wonder, and Ivan on Tech's picking up on it, like how much this does kind of spread,
Yeah.
as things pick up.